What is going on, YouTube world? Christopher Journos, comics, and pop culture. Friday night, yet again. This week just blew by us. It's Friday Night Live, folks. We already got some folks in the chat. We have a show tonight, as always. This is another one that I think is very, very important for the community as a whole. But we're going to take a couple minutes to let some folks get in here. I want to say what's up to everyone already hanging out. David LaRoe, Nicholas, what is up, guys? Dan the man. Dan, how was Disneyland? Man, I'm so jealous. And Dan was in Disneyland rocking the Journos Comics gear. Thank you so much for your continued support, Dan. So amazing to see the Journos gear out in the happiest place on earth. We got Shadow Rat, Mojo, Prime Time. What is up, Dom? And Comic Book Cannon. My other partner in crime, the other half of Comic Book Cannon, might be making a guest appearance on the show tonight, folks. Battle 66, Brian Wells, Pedro, some good folks. I want to say again, thank you to everyone. Last week was awesome. We had the giveaway Halloween raffle, man, for everyone that donated. I want to say thank you to everyone again. I had a lot of fun doing the raffle. We've gotten out most of the prizes. There might be a couple lingering that we need to ship out still, but congrats to all the winners. And yet again, thank you so much to everyone that donated. So I can't believe it's Friday again. This week went by so fast. I'm going to tell you folks right here, I am probably more tired right now than I've ever been for a Friday night show. And a lot might have to just do with what has transpired over the last 48 hours, which pertains to this show and topic of discussion. But it's just been a crazy week as well. But I had to come here and discuss what we're going to talk about tonight. Swagos! It is Friday. Ishmael, when do I go see Eternals? I go see Eternals tomorrow with my parents to celebrate my dad's 75th birthday. 75, 3/4 of a century, man. So we're gonna go see that tomorrow. I can't wait. This is oh man, it's inching. I can't wait till Spider-Man. I can't wait till all the 2022 releases. Man, I do feel, and if anyone's seen it, no spoilers in the comments. If you spoil Eternals in the comments tonight, you're gonna be blocked from my channel for life. I'm not joking. Anyways, I really think Eternals is going to do something to the future of the MCU. It's really going to make something known and connect something here that's going to set forth this new phase, right? So, Rupert, what's going on, Rupert? Into Oblivion. Journation. I like that. I love it. That's another one, man. Oh, man, I got to take note on that. Journation. The Journo Nation. Oh, man. So, again, folks, if you aren't subscribed to the channel, this is your first time hanging out, please take some time to subscribe. I put out content almost every single day of the week. I appreciate each and every one of you. You guys inspire me day to day. I'm constantly interacting with you all, reading my comments. I also have a whole bunch of links in the description below where you can help support the channel via either Patreon or becoming a YouTube member for only $1.99 a month. I got my official merch link below. Dan was rocking the merch in Disneyland. And of course, we got Comic Book Cannon. Comic Book Cannon, 6 p.m. We're about, an hour and 11 minutes away every Friday. Although, disclaimer, folks. Well, not a disclaimer, just public service announcement. Next week, we will not have Comic Book Cannon next Friday. It's going to be that Sunday on, I believe it is the 14th. So, I don't know if I'm going to do a Friday Night Live show. I got a lot going on. We may skip a week of Friday Night Live, but then Comic Book Cannon will be next Sunday. Not 2 days from now, but the following Sunday, all right? So I'll keep you all updated on that. Mojo, AOA. Let's see. Man, Georgie, what's going on? Brian Wells, what is up? Lots of good people in the house, folks. So, I'm gonna take another minute before we get into it. I will say, if you guys seen the thumbnail and the title, Travis, what is going on, Travis? Fake news, real FOMO? Question mark. We're gonna really set the record straight on some things. I've talked about some things this last week or so. It really drew a lot of negative attention yesterday. We will go into that. But again, let's just take let's wait a few more seconds, let a few more folks get in here. Like I said, tonight we have a great show on Comic Book Canon with special guest 360 Comics. So don't miss that show tonight. I hope to see all of you guys over there once we're done here. All right. With that being said, folks, let's get into it. Let's get into it. We did our Comic Book Canon show last week, and we did the top 10, and there was a certain book on this top 10 list, and it was World War Hulk, #1. And as I always do, when I talk about some of the books on the top 10, I just don't sit there, and I'm not a yes man, and I don't sit and say, oh, they're hot, and go buy them. I talk about why I feel they should be talked about. Sometimes it's positive things. Sometimes it's questionable things. The reason this book was on the list was because of questionable things. And I talked about it. Journalation into oblivion, on a roll here. I talked about the fact that the only reason this book got hot was because of a website, Geeks Worldwide, did an article stating that they can confirm, and that it is officially happening, World War Hulk movie. Not only did they know that a Hulk movie was happening, but they knew the title of it. That right there is even more questionable. They even said in that same article that the rights to the Hulk, the film rights to the Hulk, were now owned by Marvel Studios / Disney, that is. In that same article, a little bit lower in the article, they actually contradicted themselves by stating that if the rumors are true and Universal doesn't have the rights to Hulk anymore, first off, the rumors happened almost 2 years ago now, and they were just that. They were rumors. It wasn't fact, and that's a fact. I'm not going to go into the details of this article today. Moonlit, what's going on, Moonlit? I'm not going into the details of my video. My video was basically my top 10 rant that I uploaded on my channel as well, so you can check out the Comic Book Canon show, or you can check out the video Clip It. It's a 20-something minute Clip It. And I will say this. You guys know me. I'm very passionate. Sometimes my passion sometimes can get the best of me, or sometimes it's just taken out of context and taken the wrong way. I had the editor-in-chief come at me on Twitter yesterday. And I thought about bringing up Twitter on screen tonight. Dave Clux, what's going on? Rob, what's going on? Discovery Bay. I thought about bringing Twitter on screen and showing you this guy. Okay, so the editor-in-chief of Geeks Worldwide spent about 5 hours tweeting at me with memes and personal attacks and curse words and belittling, and for almost 5 hours, folks. I'm not even exaggerating, because I got off of work. It was happening. I picked my kids up. They got out of school 2 hours later. I came home, dropped the video, cooked dinner, and then I went back on Twitter, and it was still happening. I was trying to have a respectful back and forth with this individual that got nowhere. I tried to reach out to him privately, but for some reason on Twitter, I couldn't private message him. I said, let's have a conversation. You're welcome to come on my show. And he was like, oh, why do I want to come on your show and bring you view? Like, whatever the case may be. I'm not trying to be belittling here. I'm just being honest. This is what happened, folks. This is what happened. Como, what's going on, Como? Vinny, here's what I want to make clear first and foremost. I feel like I could have expressed myself a little more present in the moment last week when talking about the World War Hulk situation and Geeks Worldwide. You know, I said some things that I understand could have been taken out of context. Like I was saying, you know, I don't know if you guys watched it, but if you could see me, I used an example of saying, hello, McFly. And I was using that as an example to say it's not rocket science. And I wasn't even pointing that at Geeks Worldwide or any source. I was actually saying that in context of collectors and Marvel fans or DC fans to be able, if you're not watching the movies and paying attention, like, hello, McFly, how do you not see what might be coming down the pipes? You know, like, hello, McFly, Thunderbolts movie should be coming. Look, it's already being set up. That may not have been the best way to say it because I can understand how people might think that I'm kind of, you know, being a cynic with that tone. Not my intent. But the base of my argument, in totality, I am not backing down from. I stand 100% firm in the ground when I say this. And here's the thing. Geeks Worldwide, I'm not going to front. I'm not going to sit here and lie to you. I never heard of them. I've never heard of them until this World War Hulk discussion. So when I addressed them, I read 2 articles from them. I read the article about World War Hulk, and I read the article about the Thunderbolts. Both of those articles were written by one writer, and it wasn't the editor-in-chief, or at least, according to their website, it wasn't. It was somebody else's name. Remember, with somebody that has their own Twitter account that had a selfie picture like this with the phone in front of them on the website. Everything I talked about when I brought up my issue with GWW was about those 2 articles and those 2 articles alone. I don't care what they've done in the past. I don't care what other articles are on their website. I don't care. I don't care if they've been right on any other breaking news before. I don't care if they've been doing it for a year or 10 years. I don't care about none of that. The only thing I cared about was the simple fact that those 2 articles had problems. Problems. And my door is always open to the editor-in-chief of GWW or anybody that works there. And I will have a respectful conversation. And I'm going to use this example, and then I'm going to get into an outline of discussion for tonight's show. I, in the past, have been vocal about my issues with how Key Collector labels some of their appearances and stuff like that. For a long time, Nick with Key Collector really didn't want to have a conversation with me. And I was left to assume why. Is he an a-hole? You know, like, does he, like, or am I right? Is he hiding something? Like, I don't know, because I'm not having the conversation. So it made me, even though my intent was positive, anytime I talked about my issues with Key Collector, we didn't have the 2-way conversation for me to put things into perspective. We finally did. I've had multiple conversations with Nick now, and boy, have we really communicated to come to this mutual understanding. And I understand why Nick was hesitant to speak to me, because anybody that ever has even the slightest issue with Key Collector, it's like they turn it into this big pitchfork thing. The point I'm trying to make is this. I understand why anybody with Geeks Worldwide would get offensive, would get defensive to somebody calling them out on something. But the only way to resolve that is to have a conversation. And I'm going to, like I said, you guys could go on Twitter. You could go find their pages, and you could go see what they were tweeting at me. And it was pretty disgusting. It was very childish. It didn't paint their company in a good light. So it makes me question their validity even more. Their behavior made me question their validity even more, because who does that? I'm not even going to get into it. I'm not even going to get into it. And look, where I come from and how I grew up, I could have handled it one way, but I'm not doing that. I'm here representing a business and a brand. And although I'm not perfect, and I will admit my flaws, and I will learn from those, and I will better myself, I represent Journos Comics as a brand and a business entity. The way that the editor-in-chief, not some random blogger that works for the site, the editor-in-chief spent 5 hours on Twitter coming at me. Look, I can share memes. It was a measuring contest. If this is a solidified business, really, really hard to fathom. Let's get into the bigger topic of discussion, folks. So I'm going to say one thing. M-Switch, what's going on? Appreciate it. This is not just like when I was saying, Key Collector labeled this first appearance this, and I disagree. What was the bigger issue? It's an industry issue. It's not Key Collector's fault that there's no concrete cameo full appearance and all that. CGC, I disagree with some of the things CGC labels. I disagree with CBCS sometimes. It's a bigger industry issue. When it comes to news sources or blogs or insiders, whether you've been doing it for 10 years or you're just some kid trying to start up a website, the problem with those out there trying to break speculation news regarding comic books and MCU and all this stuff, it's an industry-wide problem. I talked about it with that hashtag show. We see it with, we got this covered all the time. Even CBR. Oh, even they do it. Clickbait, pull you in, and they use verbiage that is merely there to do one thing, first off, to pull you in, to get you to click on the article, and secondly, to convince you of something. There's too much of that. And when I read those 2 articles from GWW, that red flag went up and said, I think they're guilty of that with these 2 articles. I'm going to make something clear right now. Okay? Because there was a 2-minute snippet of me talking about GWW and the World War Hulk. There was a 2-minute snippet that went around on Twitter that completely took what I was saying out of context. Completely took it out of context. And the argument was focused on this word exclusive. Now, exclusive is one word that I do have an issue with, but that was merely a small percentage of the argument. The bigger thing is confirmation. That is the biggest issue in what we consider to be confirmation. And when we throw exclusive in the mix, it becomes a bigger problem. Exclusively confirmed. So let me paint the picture like this. Information without a publicly confirmed source is nothing more than speculation. Gotham Collections, what's going on? Peter, what's going on? Let me repeat that. Information without a publicly confirmed source is nothing more than speculation. Now, could that speculation be valid? Could it end up being true? It doesn't matter. And I said this in the video last week. The validity of it doesn't matter at this stage. Obviously, it matters in the end if you want to be a credible source. But the point I'm trying to make is it doesn't matter if it comes true or not. It's still merely speculation if there is information without a publicly confirmed source. So, when somebody says, this movie confirmed by Marvel Studios and it will go into production in 2022, our sources say, BBB, what's going on? Nothing is confirmed. Nothing is confirmed. You're saying that you're confirming something that somebody else said is confirming something that somebody else is doing, basically, right? It becomes the telephone game. Rupert, no. I'm sorry, Rupert. I disagree. I'm not giving anybody power. This is, look, I want to make something clear. And Rupert, I appreciate your sentiment. I know what you're saying. Look, it's the whole don't feed the trolls thing. Don't feed the trolls. This isn't about feeding the trolls, folks. Everything I do is about better. I'm a businessman, and I look at everything as how do I conduct myself as a business, right? And not only is it about how I conduct my business, but it's all the business entities that are within my industry. I am speaking on behalf of the industry for the business entities and the consumers and the collectors. When I talk about these things, I'm not giving them power. I'm actually giving you guys power. I'm giving you guys power to be able to critically think for yourselves. So you have more power to delegate how you spend money in this hobby and in the market, which essentially is a domino effect that affects everything. It affects your purchasing power, that affects value of comic books on the market. It affects what's hot. It affects what types of movies are being put into production. It all correlates. I'm not here feeding a troll. I'm here discussing real serious issues that are ingrained in this hobby and in this industry, and it needs to be talked about. Kaya B, what's going on? Red, what's going on? So, Rupert, I hope you understand where I'm coming from with that. Like I said, I appreciate you. I know where your sentiment is coming from, but I just wanted to make that clear, all right? Huge differentiation in what my intent here today and what I do on my channel is. But let me continue on here. Regardless if an insider or website declares it to be exclusive or states our sources confirm, if the confirmation itself cannot be publicly confirmed, it is still only speculation and rumor. And I think that's the biggest takeaway that I want you all taken away tonight. How we weigh this speculation as being credible boils down to where it's coming from and looking at not only their track record or accuracy, but of who they are, who they represent, and what their position is in the industry. We're going to come back to that in a minute, but let me add to that like this. Accuracy doesn't equate to a credible source. I just said that. I could play detective. Journo, me, I could play detective and put pieces together and follow the MCU breadcrumbs, make predictions to future projects, and be accurate the majority of the time. But that doesn't mean I have credible inside sources. So don't confuse the two. Who they are and what their position is in the industry. This matters, okay? Someone who actually works in the industry and creates business relationships with industry heads can be seen as a much more credible source than someone that just blogs from their basement. So again, I could just be a blogger from my basement, watching the movies, reading the comic books, reading everything I could Google about all the scoops, and I can create my own website and I could scoop a whole bunch of stuff, and I can use tag words like exclusive and confirm and say my sources, well, they were right about this, so they must be right about this. And I can have you all eating the carrot on the string. And you're going to go out and spend $60 on a book that was a $5 book before I even said anything about it. And then a whole bunch of other YouTubers with 800,000 subscribers are going to take it and run with it. And it's going to make even more of you get up on that FOMO. Doesn't matter if it comes true. It doesn't matter if my predictions come true. It's not real news. Here are some things that we can do instead to be more transparent if we want to be scoopers, or for you all to be smart buyers and speculators and collectors. Look for these terms. Instead of saying confirm, use being reported that. So example, it is being reported that Marvel Studios may be getting this film into production. We have sources that are reportedly stating that Marvel Studios is da-da-da-da-da. Being reported that or reportedly. Those are key words that we can use instead of saying confirmed or exclusive. All right? If you have another source that confirms news that you are breaking, you have to be clear that the confirmation is from a third-party source and provide content to why this source should be trusted. And you can do that without giving up your source. So again, a lot of these people that are saying, we have an exclusive and we can confirm. You're not doing anything. You have a third-party source that is doing it, and you're now reporting on it. So again, it's that telephone game. So you need to make it clear. You're not confirming. You talk to somebody who talked to somebody else who says they can confirm, and now you're confirming that they said that they can confirm, but nobody's confirmed from anyone that matters. Will it come true? It might. It doesn't mean it's a credible source. Folks, primetime words mean nothing. Yeah. Planet Arizona, what's going on, buddy? Buddy said, I worked for the Stage Workers of America for 20 years. Until we were hired, nothing's happening. I dig that. I dig it. All right, folks. So we're gonna go back. We're gonna go back over some of these pieces that I just outlined, okay? But we're gonna do it bringing in a special guest. Now, I know we're 48 minutes until Comic Book Canon. But you guys probably couldn't wait that long to see the other half of Comic Book Canon, so I'm just gonna bring him in here right now.
What's up,
Jeff?
How's it going? Listen, what are we talking about today?
What's that?
What do we got going on? What are we talking about?
Oh, just the same old goodness, birds and bees.
Comic books. Oh, I love me some comic books. I got this cool Morbius Spider-Man cover. You can't see it. Anyways, you'll see it at Comic Book Canon, I promise. Is that what we're talking about? There it is. Anyways, no, I don't want to hijack the show with my comedy routine here because it's really not that good.
No. We got a great show coming up on Comic Book Canon, that's for sure. So, like I always do, everyone, we're counting down. We are counting down. Special guest 360 Comics going to be there tonight as well. Jimmy G's in the house. What's going on? Bottom tier. What is going on? And all the Jeff fanboys are in the house. Welcome, everyone.
Thank you. I didn't even know I have. Listen, I gotta I just want to I really liked what Buddy McKinley said. I work for the Stage Workers of America for 20 years. Until we're hired, nothing's happening because anyway, there's a lot behind that as to why, but that's well said, buddy. Well said.
So Jeff, yeah, I mean, you were there last week. It was on our show, obviously, talking about the top 10 and discussing World War Hulk #1. I'm not gonna read. Can we not? I'm not gonna read that, Kaya. But let's keep. Even if I don't know what he said, let's just keep Eternals off the plate today for anyone that hasn't seen it, including myself. So yeah, we were there last week and we discussed our issues with these articles. I did have issues with the Thunderbolt article as well. From GWW, but just like I said a few minutes ago, I can't speak to anything else that GWW has ever done, ever. I can't. We were only talking about 2 specific articles. You didn't. I don't even know if you looked at the Thunderbolts article, but as you may have heard me saying earlier, this 5-hour Twitter raid really got twisted out of context because there was so much focused on the word exclusive. So I want to talk about this real quick, and then we're going to dive into a little bit of what I already talked about. And let me just state real quick, and then I'll let you jump in here. So I think we both share a very similar sentiment about what exclusive means. Now, obviously, textbook definition, and they try to throw this at me yesterday. Exclusive means it's like the first to and I get that. Look, it's just like the argument with the textbook definition of cameo. When people argue against a comic book appearance can't be a cameo because it's a known character. If you pull out the dictionary, there's multiple definitions for the word cameo. There's a literature definition as well, and then a definition that pertains specifically to screenplays or act film, anything that consists of a live actor. So the same thing with the word exclusive, like many other English words that you'll find in the dictionary, they can be used in different contexts. When we talk about the word exclusive in breaking news in entertainment or pop culture, obviously,
or in journalism in general.
Thank you. Journalism in general. Obviously, we can look at the fact that you're the first to do it, but you're the first to get your hands on a confirmation. So when I think of exclusive, I think exclusive confirmation. Can you? I want you to just jump in here on that real quick and share your thoughts.
Listen, this has been happening before GWW. This has been happening outside of this genre. This happens all over the place, where somebody claims to have an exclusive, but doesn't have anybody on record confirming this. It's a problem, okay? Especially ones that don't have a track record at all. Especially ones that, honestly, if there's a confirmation of an exclusive, the trades are going to be picking up on this. The other highly regarded Hollywood, Hollywood trades that cover the industry, they will pick up on it. Not only that, they'll make sure that it's confirmed too before they do that. So that's it's a big problem in general for people creating news that's not there.
Yep. So I want to talk about that in two ways. One, anybody can use the word confirmation. I could say this. I could say, let me think of something. I used monkeys flying out of my ass already last week. So let me change something else. I have the exclusive tonight. I'm going to chop off my pinky with the butcher knife. I mean, that's an exclusive, right? Am I going to do it?
You're a confirmed source too, by the way.
I can sit here and say, let's do one that's more relevant. Exclusive. Ghost Manor, old Charlton Comics property, Ghost Manor is being optioned by Netflix. Guess what? I could say that's an exclusive because raise some hands. Who else has heard that? Who else has heard that Ghost Manor is being optioned by Netflix?
I have not.
You haven't. Anybody in the chat? I want to know who has heard that Ghost Manor from Charlton Comics back in the 70s is being optioned by Netflix. Has anybody heard that? I know there's a delay, so we're going to wait a minute.
Listen, so you just delivered us an exclusive, right?
I did. I did.
I'm coming back at you. There's no credibility behind that. How do you know?
Well, my source is confirmed.
Who are you?
I was right when I said Nova was going to show up. I said that when I talked about hot books back in 2018, I showed up my Nova #1 and said, guys, affordable bronze Nova, he's coming. Well, I was right.
This is big news. This is big news about Charlton. I'm going to Google it right now to see if the other publications are picking it up, because obviously they would on such a big exclusive. Wait a minute. Oh, no, I don't see anything about that there.
Yep. So there you go, guys. So the point that we're trying to make is if you want to, what's the word I'm looking for? If you want to bust our balls, if you want to be so textbook, yes. You don't need to confirm. You don't need to have a source. You don't need to name your source. You don't need to confirm anything to have an exclusive. You can just call anything an exclusive. But context matters and validity matters. We can't throw around the word exclusive without it meaning anything. And that's the point that Jeff and I are getting at. So, Jeff, I'm going to bring up the rap that, and we're going to talk about this in the news later in Comic Book Canon.
Mm-hmm.
We're not going to go into the details of the news, but the wrap broke today exclusively. They exclusively broke that there has been an official casting for a Disney Plus show for Marvel. All right. In that article, they stated that Marvel would not comment yet. All right. So, okay, here's the situation where the word exclusive, you're telling us that this is an exclusive, you're breaking this, but we're merely having to trust your source because you're not giving it to us. But you know what else happened? Everyone, all of the trusted trades, the credible trades that you just talked about, Hollywood Reporter, Variety, ComicBook.com, they all ran with it. And in their articles, it says, reported by The Wrap. So they're saying their source is The Wrap. So let's talk about that a little bit, to how, I think it goes back to what you were just saying a couple minutes ago.
Well, that's still a flag to me. Humberto Gonzalez broke a story that we'll talk about on Comic Book Canon. Humberto Gonzalez with The Wrap has credible track record of breaking these stories. And because of that, he is a trusted source. He is a trusted news source, where other outlets decided, you know what? Let's just double check our sources to see if Humberto's right, and we'll run with this story if so. And they ran with that story as well. It's all over the place. All over the place.
And so get this. And everyone watching, you don't need to be a rocket scientist to understand this.
I do want to say, though, I still have a problem with him saying exclusive, and he's out there without having any sources on record, any quotes or anything in the article. Right. But I give him more credence because he has a track record. He's somebody I've seen break stories. Right. He's somebody that's been out there, and he's somebody that the other trades, the other outlets trust.
Right. So again, if it was up to Jeff and I, even somebody that is a trusted, reliable source, if we were sitting down with him right now, we'd probably discuss about where we see, verbiage matters, in the context of that verbiage matters. And not that he would care about our opinions, what we have to say. It's like, who cares? But still, that we would be transparent that way. But this is what I want to make really clear here. When you have Hollywood Reporter, Variety, and Comic Book Canon, and I think even Yahoo reported on it.
Not ComicBook.com, not
sorry, just I see I'm subconsciously putting it in there. ComicBookcom. These are entities that they're gonna, they're editors, and they're gonna have execs sitting at the table, and they're gonna be making very sound decisions to say, go to print or not. Well, not print anymore, but it's not in paper, but it's on screen. They're going to make sure that they are at least 99.999% sure that this is something that is credible, because as soon as we run with a non-credible source, it deteriorates our own credibility.
Yeah. I've got to, first of all, bottom tier collector, biggest Lobo fan we know. Can you highlight his? Jeff is a Pearl Jam fan, so that's all I need to trust him as a source. I have no credibility. I have no track record of breaking any news stories, but I'm going to try and wear my Pearl Jam sweatshirt for you for Comic Book Canon. Here's the deal. I worked at ComicBook.com for a while. I'm not a journalist. I'm into production, film, TV, digital. There were many situations where stories were brought to us, and there was one in particular I remember on cable casting where we were sent artwork based on who was going to portray Cable, and it wasn't Josh Brolin. It was, I'm not even going to bring it up as to who it was, but we almost ran that story with only that one source, and luckily we didn't, because it wasn't that person that was cast. But there was artwork, early images of this actor portraying Cable. It was pretty high production quality for that, and it really was very close to being run. Right. That's an example right there, though. You have to be careful, because you want to be a trusted source, and you don't want to put shit out there that people are going to, after a while not trust you because it's not true.
I hear you. So looking at this, the Wrap, where it's being stated as an exclusive without a confirmed source, at least to our knowledge, the public's knowledge, and you have all these top trades, respected, credible sources, using the Wrap as a source and running with this. When GWW reported the World War Hulk, and keep in mind again, this article was grammatically on fire.
It was a dumpster fire.
It was absolutely horrible. I'm an English buff. It was bad. And the editor-in-chief, I went on his LinkedIn, and he says nothing gets posted on our site until it goes through me. So again, that makes me so questionable. But my thing is this: nobody ran with it. None of the top trades, Variety, Hollywood Reporter, ComicBookcom, nobody. The only one, we talked about this, Jeff, that sometimes it can be questionable themselves was Screen Rant. Every other entity that ran with this is an entity that I practically laugh at. CBR, and then I don't even know. And here's the thing: there's so many websites out there that really are people in their basements or in their home, or they might even be kids. We don't know, who pay for a monthly subscription, Wix website or whatever the case, and they build it up, and they know, it's 2021. These young kids know about SEO, search engine optimization. You go, oh, World War Hulk movies happening, Google it, and all these sites come up, and they're sites that they look legit, but they're nothing. And then the YouTubers that will run with anything because it allows them to bring in hundreds of thousands of followers, and then they give away a PlayStation at the end of the video to keep them there. You know what it's about for them. It's about clicks and views. Do I want clicks and views? Does Comic Book Canon want clicks and views? Absolutely. You want to know why? Because, well, I'm going to speak for myself here, Jeff. I'm a business. This is how I feed my kids. But guess what? And I've always said this, and I'll say it again. Clicks and views means nothing if the business that I am loses its code of ethics. They mean nothing. So what I'm going to say is I'm going to gain clicks and views and build my business by running an ethical business. So I do want to, Jeff, go back to this because I was talking about this before you came in, and I want to touch base on this, and I want all you watching to remember this. I'm going to repeat what I had said. Key number one tip here. Information without a publicly confirmed source, no matter what the verbiage is, no matter if it says it's exclusive, no matter if they say it's confirmed, being reported, whatever. Information without a publicly confirmed source is nothing more than speculation. Jeff, can you speak to that? What are your thoughts on that?
Yeah, it goes back to putting that person on record. And that's putting, like, you have this exclusive. Okay, show us the goods. I know people that have gotten exclusives straight from Kevin Feige's mouth, on tape. Those are exclusives because they were the only ones that received that information. He tells them, nobody knows this now except for you, and you'll probably run with it, but this is happening. Boom. News story. They send it out. The trades pick up on it, and it becomes a huge story and all credited back to this source. Okay? Again, without that, and it does bother me that Humberto Gonzalez does not have that in his article, but again, he's a trusted source in that whole circle. It takes a while to be that trusted source, but it goes back to what you're saying. Yep. Doing it the right way.
Yep. And let me make this clear, Jeff. I'll ask you that. I mean, do we hate scoopers? I don't
know, because there are scoopers that, I'm going to bring up a guy that's great, Mikey Sutton, who never says exclusive. He never uses that term. My sources are telling me this is going to happen. I can expect it happening at this time. Yep. He's not a guy that puts out bullshit. You know, some of the stuff doesn't come to fruition, or it hasn't yet. But he's a guy that is a lot of the stuff that he's said has come to fruition. I can't point those off.
And here's the thing. Not to interrupt you. I apologize. Please hold that thought and continue. But I have to say to that point, this goes back to what I was saying about the confirmation doesn't matter. And I know people could take that out of context. Obviously it does. But it basically, a person like Mikey Sutton, even if some of his stuff ends up not happening or not being actually confirmed, he presents his research in a way that allows us to have some type of trust in what he says, you know, to where there's something behind here, but, you know, still don't put all your eggs in that basket. Right. So I wanted to make that clear. It's like he at least works on a groundwork of a certain ethics and transparency that I think is there for all of us. But
that goes to the point, because Tom Nordel, and it's not just that the info may be fabricated, it may be true or believed to be true at the time it was revealed, but became not true shortly thereafter. Sure, but that's not the discussion we're having right now. The discussion we're having is the term exclusive. I have this exclusive story. Nobody else has it. Here you go. Here it is. And there's no sources or anything backing that exclusivity. That is what we're talking about. That is a problem in journalism, you know, in general.
And I want to add confirmed as well. These are the buzzwords, guys. The buzzwords. And like I said in the beginning of the show, for me, it's all to educate you all. Really the buzzword for me is confirmed. You know, because I could like I said earlier, anybody could throw around exclusive, and you know, it could be exclusive. You know, pigs flying out of my ass, like I said. So, and when we pair exclusive with confirmations, that becomes even more problematic. I got to take a minute and thank Comic Journey, Judge Journo. Thank you so much, Comic Journey, for the super chat. I love that, Judge Journo. I might have to do a segment where I wear the white wig and, you know, with the oh man, Rupert, thank you so much, Rupert. I appreciate you guys so much.
Right, this is good stuff.
Miguel's in the house too, Prince Zodiac. I didn't get a chance to acknowledge some of you folks, but I do appreciate all you being here. So, well, I mean, Jeff, I know we got to start wrapping up here shortly. We got a Comic Book Canada show to get ready for, guys. I hope to see each and every one of you over there in less than a half an hour now. Special guest, 360 Comics, going to be hanging out with us tonight. Tom, I did not get to say what's up to you either, and Jay. So look, I'm going to say my final word on this, Jeff, and I'll let you come in here. When it comes to, I'm going to say two pieces here, folks. It doesn't matter if what GWW wrote about in that World War Hulk article. It doesn't matter if it comes true. I don't, and that's what I want to make clear, because I guarantee you there's going to be people, if for some reason a year, 2 years, or even 5 years from now, there's a World War Hulk movie, I bet I'm going to get people coming at me saying, look, Journo, you were wrong. Joke's on you. I'm not wrong. Because this is what I mean when I say it doesn't matter if it's true or not. Even if it comes true, there is no valid trust in anything that GWW said. GWW can be guessing. They could be pulling it out of their ass, and it comes true. And that was my whole duh McFly thing. It's like any one of us that are fans of this can throw something on the wall, and a majority of the time it's probably going to happen. And what did I say last week? I said this. I could sit here and randomly pick through the Marvel Index and say, Paste Pot Pete is going to show up in the MCU. Now, that's probably one that might not happen. I'm stretching it here, though, folks. I'm stretching it. I could probably say some Silver Sable is going to show up in the MCU, or, you know, God, I mean, just I could pull out a random comic book here and say, you know, Doctor Doom's going to show up in the MCU. What else I got here? You know, I don't even have that many. I could say Hercules is going to show up in the MCU. I could pull up any book and say these characters, and probably more than half the time, it's going to happen at least at some time, because the MCU has so much material to build off of for years to come. It doesn't matter if what GWW says comes true. It matters that we, the fans, the speculators, the consumers that read these articles, that we can trust the source. All right. And so I just hope that you all could take away this. When I read that article, and I go ahead and read it too, guys, the red flags are the facts that, first and foremost, the grammar. I'm sorry, but a solidified journalistic entity is going to have an editor that makes sure your article doesn't read like a sixth grader's book report. And I'm not saying that to be rude. It's just a fact. All right? Because that's how bad it was. It really was. That's how bad it was. Secondly, if you read that article, it specifically, clearly contradicts itself, because it states that the movie is confirmed. It states that the title's confirmed. It states that the production date is confirmed. And it states that they know that Marvel now has the right to the Hulk. And then later in the article, they go on to say, if the rumors are true that Universal no longer has the rights to Hulk, that is a big red flag and a contradiction. And here's the thing, Jeff, they didn't even use the word exclusive in that article. They didn't. They just confirmed all these things, and they did it in a way that leaves the big red flag in the questions mark. They did use the word exclusive in the Thunderbolts article, and that was problematic to me, because the only thing that we know about the Thunderbolts are what we as fans can see that is an obvious setup for what's to come. Guys, please be cautious. It's not that it's fake news like the time. It's not that it's fake news. That's a tagline. I get it. But it can't be trusted. All right? And I wanted you guys to take that in tonight and take away something with this, so we all can be better collectors, better consumers, better buyers, and support this hobby in a much better way. Jeff, I'll let you jump in with the final word here.
I've said my piece, man. I'm tired of people like there are people who are passionate about this industry. There are people who are passionate about the MCU, the DCEU, passionate about these characters, seeing them on screen. They are passionate about being journalists within this field and genre, and I am all about that. I probably came off a little too harsh, and I don't want to cut anybody down, but there are right ways to do this and the wrong ways to do this. And by using words like exclusive or we can confirm, without having any credible source or quotes or people on the record saying that, it's a problem. You guys, there are people who hold to the journalistic integrity of correctly getting the information out there, and just start there, build up. That's what I would say. I don't want to douse any water on anybody's dreams here, but there's a right way to do things and a wrong way to do things. So.
Absolutely, perfectly said. And I will say this: I'm gonna say this too. And I haven't name dropped him. I don't want this to be about names, but the editor-in-chief of Geeks Worldwide, my door is always open. I never want to be in a situation where I take food off of somebody's table. I don't know if GWW is a full-time job for any of these individuals, or if it's just a hobby. They have a large following on Twitter. They're not much anywhere else. So. And that's why, I want to be cautious about how we get passionate about these things, Jeff, as well. And it's never my intent. I realized when I had my differences in perspective with Key Collector that when I talked about those things, sometimes it rallied a certain crowd that just picked up the pitchforks, and they were taking personal shots at, the individuals involved with Key Collector. And I'm like, and I had to come on my channel and say, no, guys, no, that's not what I'm doing here. Absolutely not. So, and here's the thing, I'm going to be the bigger person because, like I said, the editor-in-chief took 5 hours last night, not just trying to argue with me, but literally taking personal shots. I mean, literally being a 13-year-old schoolyard bully, like, and I told him, man, like, you don't know where I'm from and how I could come at this boy, but that ain't me. Like I said, I'm Journos Comics, and that's my brand, and I'll be the bigger person, and I will keep my door open for him or anybody at GWW if they want to set the record straight, because I'm all about building and breaking bread and getting to a point where, look, if GWW has passion for this hobby and for scooping and breaking news and for the movies and the entertainment, I want to see it done right. I want to see what they're doing done right, you know? So I'll leave it at that. My door's open.
I'm sorry, I have to correct you. I pulled up the article. They actually say in the article at the top, exclusively confirmed. They can exclusively confirm.
That was the World War Hulk?
Yeah.
Okay. Yep. See, and that's what I was talking about. Those two together. When you put those two together,
and have it in category. Yeah, okay. Under the exclusives. So.
Yep.
Anyways.
All right. Jeff, thank you so much for coming on over here and hanging out.
Absolutely. Looking forward to y'all at Comic Book Canon. It's been a pleasure hanging out on Friday Night Live. This is maybe my third appearance.
Yeah, absolutely. Hey, Comic Toby, hit me up, PM me. We'll talk about your comment there. Thank you all for hanging out so much. Again, be kind, folks. I always talk about these issues, and it took a lot for me not to respond like an a-hole back to what they were doing to me yesterday. I want the same out of you guys. You know, don't turn into that in which you hate. Don't take this. I'm not trying to fuel you up to pick up the pitchforks. I'm trying to educate you to be critical thinkers, and we got to be better people all around. So, you know, take this as a cause that we can act on in a productive way and not be counterproductive with it. So, again, thank you all for being here tonight and listening. Thank you to Jeff for stopping over, and we got to get ready for the canon. So I want to see each and every one of you over there in a matter of 18 minutes. Until then, peace.